Hi everybody, I'm back again with another video in a slightly improved recording setting. Hopefully my voice isn't delayed. I've got fancy multicolor lighting. Look, I can go purple. Maybe I should match blue. So, new gadgets. Hopefully my voice isn't delayed and it all sounds good as well. Because we want to talk today about the new free expansion. That's the marketing about it. That's just arrived for Bulwark. It's called Edge of the World. You might have seen it already or played it, but we're going to have a look at what's inside, some stuff you might have not seen yet, and some of the rationale behind it, or even some of the lore behind it, because I think it might be a little bit more lore in this video. So just let's just dig into it and see what's new in Bulwark. Here we go. So this is that, you know, the old pause and main menu. It's mostly the same, but it shows one thing I changed. I forget, it might have been in the architecture in between update from Christmas, but the nights are a lot more darker. They were just too bright before, so they were just light blue, because I didn't want people to get lost or frustrated, but in the end, making it the nights just a bit darker just feels better. And I've added a little bit of purple to make it different from, you know, so there's a green sunset, and the purple goes to the orange glow golden hour. So just, yeah, shit I do fiddle around. I love doing that, it's just relaxing. Let me open an existing save. So we start off in my save with the mall. And a stormer apparently. So, in last winter I updated the water, or before that, and I've been fiddling with the water itself, the waves, the water, the ocean, the effects for it since November, since after evolution, because I knew I was going to do this. So the mall has been upgraded a number of times. This is the final iteration. I'm probably not the final. Let me move away from the storm. The most recent iteration of the mall. As you can see, I've increased the density of the effect a little bit. I've toned down some of the bubbliness, so it isn't as jittery as it was previously. And one major difference is that the mall now flows upward. So instead of the mall going down, which it flows up, out of the ground. So it's like the water coming in and it's being pushed away by some sort of gravitational anomaly, which is sort of what it is. And this was also a response to someone, I think might have been on the Discord, might have been on the Steam forum, saying, so where does, if the edge of the world is the water falling off, because we'll see that in a minute, where's the water coming from? It's going. So I thought, well, maybe if the water is coming back up in the maw, even though the maw is, you know, 100 meters deep maybe, I think 150 in game meters. But the edge is much deeper. You can see the stars beneath it. So I'm not entirely sure how it works yet. But remember, lore-wise, this is a slightly artificial place. For those that played the Falconeer, the maw is an ancient, sort of gravitational distortion. Let's see what time we'll go up that way. That is probably the result of a Stargate, which was part of the fight of the Falconeer, the previous game. And for those that really dug into the Falconeer, there's this mythical mythology about a family that breaks apart, a father, a mother, 3 children, and each of these 3 children becomes the progenitor of one of the factions. So you have one that is the progenitor of the Monster, the progenitor of the Imperials, which is the sister, and the progenitor of the Freebooters, which is the sort of the lost brother. And each has their own philosophical way of dealing with the trauma of their father leaving. So these aren't gods per se, it's a mythology, but in my mind it's a mythology of post-humans, of, you know, technological history, and that's why there's all these relics as well. It's not just civilization happening again and again, and the monster sort of manipulated that, but the storefront they're sort of pulling all this tech from is post-human stuff. And the monster is also a relic of that, of what was possible. And perhaps the edge in itself is a relic as well. or in some part of my brain, and I've hinted at this, even in the lore of the Falconeer and these in their shrines, I think it's the shrine of the Sark, I might be of the Mosar, maybe the shrine of the Mosar, where it talks about not being able to swim anymore because there's too much air and bubbles and the water isn't comfortable anymore. And that is a allusion to the edge as well, because I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So one thing that has also led to in this, why I'm talking a little bit more about lore this video, beyond people requesting that, is I've just had a little bit more time to do some lore stuff in this update and sort of expand and think on it. It's been a much more content-driven update rather than, oh, we need more depth, more mechanics, more tutorial. It's a little bit more about having fun. And one of the things, and maybe you've seen the pictures of this, is the location of the Oberon's Gate. That's what it was called. It was reclaimed in the Falconeer. And then at the start of Bulwark, it's destroyed, but it didn't have a proper relation. It was just missing, which is just lazy world building by myself. And I wanted to give a lovely place. Actually, I forget that I have to go. So this is, I just flew down the mall while we were talking. I didn't realize you weren't watching, you weren't seeing this. As you can see, this is the remnants of Oberon's Gate in the same location as it was in the Falconeer. It's wrecked, it's destroyed. What happened is, in between both games, people came and the gate changed ownership a few times. It was 40 years of war between the Mancer, the Imperials, all the freebooters, everybody had their goings on. And the Imperials and Mancer both had the gate for a time, and they sent people through. So huge swaths, a large percentage of the population of the Ursea went through these gates to this dry world on the other side. You see it in the Imperial Wonder. They found a secondary smaller gate. They took the train literally into this new world, which we'll hopefully explore in future games. And then, in an act of war or terrorism, it's not explained, and this also caused the end of the war, the gate was destroyed. Once more, leaving the people on the Ursea stranded in their world, and the people on the other side of the gate stranded in the dry world. And what I thought I'd do is, the people of this world, regardless of their faction, they realized they lost their families, their kin, their loved ones, and they were beyond contact. So they made a memorial, and it's someone guiding them, a light to guide back their loved ones. Even though that's never going to happen, and they're, to all intents and purposes, for the most of the people of this world, lost and beyond their reach. So I thought I'd make something pensive, which pensive is, that's the word, right? Just something like more soulful and a bit of mourning. In the Falconeer, you see in the mall, and it does nothing. It does nothing in the game. It's a cool place to build. Maybe show me screenshots of that. But I wanted to do, but it's just a beautiful, serene place that fits the lore and gives meaning to the world, I hope. So that is one spot of the work I've been doing in the edge of the world. So that's the water stuff. Let's travel to another place. Another thing people will notice on the map is, of course, the edge. As I've talked about, it has a bunch of settlements. It's this entire area. It's a slightly more violent area in the game if you've turned on hostilities. But the other thing is new. There's actually a few things new. I should have shown. There's also a new building at Shard, but let me skip that for now. One of the things new is these little new icons called Squid Belly Mercenaries, which is they're here as well, but they're out of range, and there's one here around. They are a mercenary marketplace, so let's visit them. I've cheated myself or edited my save file in Unity. I get to do that. I'm the developer. A bunch of credits. And that's one of the things that now happens during a dialogue. The credits actually show and remain in view, so you can see what you're spending. So there's always quality of life stuff that we do. So this is it's one of my favorite new buildings, which you can't actually own. This is not a location to purchase. This is a permanent little settlement called the Squid Belly Mercenary Market. And there's 3 of them, and they all have a little. They all look a little different. At little different fixed. They're always in the same spec.
Squid Belly Mercenary Market
So
presents the best mercs on.
what you could do.
Also take in Wayward Warriors and
Okay. Oh wow.
Squid Belly Mercenary.
Yeah.
Crafted by
It's
now
talking-
abandoned by a house. Nothing like it. It will dominate
Really?
anywhere.
Oh. Strangely, the voice for this is oddly familiar. But you buy units here and you sell units because there was a request. I didn't want to make a button sell units and get splinters because you have a lower population cap for your units than there are units you could technically get. So there's new units here you can get. One is just a fine Warbird Rider. You can get some Warbirds. And you can get there's a new Freehouse Capital ship which we'll look at in, and there's 2 a heavy fighter from the freebooters and a Urinal, which were enemies in the Falconeer, which you can now own. You can see them coming in. Of course, you can sell stuff and go through. See, so you get some money. For a get, there's more. There's 2 DLC units because there's a new supporter DLC.
That comes with extensive buying.
Yes, shut up.
They are assigned to your forces.
So there's 2, actually 3 new units, but this is just a Warbird. Buy. So you have units you can buy. Let's photo mode through them. There is this, which I've called a wrecker. It's a Freehouse style, just like your little default surveyor airship. And I've gone a little crazy, so it's. Let's see if I can get some proper lighting on this. So that'll look good. So it's got a big capital ship gun at the front. It's got some point defenses. Does it have a belly gun? It does not have a belly gun. And it's lightly armored, but it is a missile frigate. So it launches a lot of missiles during combat, which is fun. It's actually quite powerful. That's why you only get 1. This brings me to another thing that's been done in for this update. One is that I've extremified the field of view of the photo mode camera, which is cool because you get this hugely sort of zoomed out effect. So it's not isometric, but it's really cool to make these kinds of shots. Let me crispify it, but it's I don't know, I don't like it. And you can also in the same way go much more extreme. Whee! Whoosh. That's kind of fun for your how do you call it? Your Hitchcock effect. So up. There's another thing, let me go to the daytime, that's been done, is that some of the larger airships have given an overhaul as well. So this is the standard Imperial, how do you call it, surveyor, and it's been cleaned up and given more detail. You can see that especially in the balloons are much softer, and they have a new spawning animation as well. Just looks nicer and more balloony in a way. You can see that especially in the where's the big airship? Just the capital, some of the capital airships. You can see the balloon it feels more balloony, more bulbous, and it's for the capital Imperial airship, for instance, and the Bannerless have this as well. Lots of new rigging on the side, so that it feels more spindly in a way. And this particular airship, it's turret platforms were really wonky. It was the first airship I made for the Falconeer. It needed a proper overhaul, so it's gotten a lot of details. It's got a new, here's the point defense at the front, looking a lot more aggressive, a little bit more in line with the other one. The turrets have proper side platforms. The trim has been done nicely. All around, it's just a slightly bit better. Let's move over to the Piranha. This is a sort of like the bannerless skull ship, but it's got quite a few more guns. So it's got a fixed gun, a belly turret, and a top turret, and a point defense. So it's actually quite powerful. You only get 6 of those, or 10, I'm not sure. And then in the disc we see the Manta Ray, which has actually got the wrong gun, but it looks kind of cool. It's just like a heavy fighter. It's got a unique weapon that it shoots out of its mouth. And there's a Murinal, which is has its own weird weapon array. Yeah, it's a flying eel. What can you say? It's flying eel. There's one more. Where is it? I bought it. There it is. This is my favorite one. The pack where you can buy it. It's these two are the Verne ships from Jules Verne, because it's just a little. I don't know. It looks kind of Jules Verne-ish, I guess. It's got lots of rigging. It is a cool bannerless ship. Actually, I was mistaken. The Wrecker is not the missile ship. I apologize. You can see on this is actually the missile carrier. You see it's loaded up with missiles. It has some guns. It's an actual beast of a ship. And it's fun. You can have one of those. So actually the Wrecker is just a regular point defense frigate. It's got actually 2 heavy guns. So it's actually quite... And I forget. You can see it's got a ton of guns on it, actually. And the bannerless ship is a missile frigate. Sorry, I forget. I made a lot of new content to this. And it's a fun... It's cool. It's a pack. It brings... and you buy these at the Mercenary... the Squid Belly. So, yeah, that's new units and stuff. We've got our army. Let's set off south and finally head towards the edge. Don't bump into each other. Also, what you will notice is that the airships might even have a too tight of a formation. They're not moving faster than you. So in the previous, only the little ones, the big airships were actually really fast, and people enjoyed that, but it was very unrealistic. And now they are the same speed as your surveyor, as you can see, and they're generally trailing you, whereas your faster airships are up front. Makes combat, they're a little bit more static in combat, but that's actually how they were intended to. So there's lots of different balancing stuff like that. Just checking the map where we're at. I don't know if the regular water had an update, but you can see, yeah, water in comparison to the first release has had such a giant upgrade. It's ridiculous. So I don't know what place we're coming up now, but there are 3 settlements on the. Let me open up the map. There are 3 settlements on the edge. There's Leviathan's Toothache. There's the Silent of the Cycles and the Admiralty. They all hate each other's guts, and to absorb them or even claim them. You will have to defeat the other settlements. So you can claim them in order if you want. No, I don't want you.
Great houses are crumbling. We're tired of it. We are half the great houses are crumbling. We're tired of it.
Another thing that's changed is that nearly everything now costs a little bit of splinters, because you get so many splinters mid game and late game. You buy stuff. So the start of the game is actually a little bit more difficult, because you can't buy all this stuff. You just have to build to get more splinters, of course. But there is a little bit more money involved in the game now. I think getting the captains for free, it was fun, but I think this makes it a little bit more meaningful. I think that change might have happened a couple of months ago with the Edge of the World. So here we are at the edge. Let's have a look down. You can literally see the stars, and it goes down into the fog. This is the edge of the world. I don't think that's been done in a video game ever before. And there's rocks jutting out from this. This is actually, I think, one of the big ones. And the idea is to give everybody a new place to build and have fun and entirely new difficulties, because you can't build walls or walkways easily across the mall. It's just too wild. So you'll have to sort of spread out, try and get your... It's a little bit like the mall has also become a little bit more difficult to build in. But it's all intended to, have this entire new building sensation, which I hope you've never had in any game where you go, Jesus, a city builder on that? That's insanity. Well, that's exactly what I hope Bulwark is. Now you can see those darker nights. We'll get sunrise now. So this is one location on the mall. And we can show some of the new stuff that's also in there. This one is called, this is the Imperial location. It's a very powerful place. Like I said, these are, I made a mistake of making them 2 stars, but they're actually 3 or 4 stars. Someone pointed this out in the, you're right.
Welcome to the Admiralty, the first new marker of Imperial revival. We may trade iron for wood.
Okay.
Destroy them. Weed.
I won't declare what. Let me establish a trade. So, if you try to absorb them friendly because you're an Imperial, just like some of the settlements required, shut up. Require to have that wonder. They will say that they want the other 2 settlements on the edge destroyed or claimed by you. So you will need to declare war or absorb them through any means to get at these settlements. Wow, these settlements, once you have them, they actually, and we'll attack one later on, have quite a lot to offer. There's a fortress here, might be 2 fortresses. Yeah, 2 fortresses. And this one has a new building, a giant, unique building. I think it's an entirely new class. And there's 4 of these in the game, because Shard, which was underwhelming before, so which is in the middle of the map, also has a new unique building called the Borgia Gallery. And what these buildings all do, these are also provide people, but the Borgia does not. What? It doesn't. But this one raises your unit cap by 10, I believe. So you gain 10 units, or you can get a bigger army. That's a much requested feature, and you do so by finding these buildings, absorbing or conquering them. And there's 3 flavors. There's no faction limit, so you have one, you chuck them in, and up goes your... so let's see if your unit cap, which is now also, if you look at your force, 16 out of 50, the out of 50 goes up to, I think, 90 then. Break your GPU, because the game isn't getting any lighter. So that's one new location. Maybe we can... I didn't... Maybe we can... I'll have to fly here and talk while we do this. So, one of the things... so, the question is, where does the water go? I don't know, but there's an idea that it could... there's an actual hole in there. Did you see that? Oh, the clouds are going through the water. Okay, interesting. We'll fix that momentarily. Yeah, the clouds get to be lower, but I guess my math is off by a little bit. Are we there yet? I'm looking at... But I haven't got any view. Apologies. So I just wanted to chat. We're flying off screen off to the next settlement on the... So is this a flat world? It's kind of weird because there's moons in the sky sometimes, and it's clearly got stars, so there's a universe around it. I don't know. Could there be? I think in my mind might not be infinite, or there might be it just goes off out of view into another empty ocean. I know some of the lore alludes to that there used to be this edge used to be further away or not there, and there were people that were caught on the other side. So is a Stargate not a Stargate, but just a gate to what's beyond the edge? I don't know yet. We'll find out. Like I said, in the best scenario, in some of the scenarios in Admiralty, it's a pocket universe. It's some sort of toy from post-humans. Does the gate lead to an escape? And I think the lore sort of says that. In my mind, this is a pocket universe which was a sort of a playground for post-humans, a refuge maybe at some point, and then the post-humans fucked off. They left, or the main post-human, and with it the ability to leave was taken away until they made Oberon's Gate or found it. So it became a prison, and clearly a very limited prison, because that's not a huge world. And I think that's part of the theme. That's why I like that idea. There's a limit. There isn't worlds and exotic places beyond this ocean. People are literally caught here, and the size of their civilization, the capability they have, are limited by what this aquatic, hellscape offers them. And they've gotten quite far with it. So it's yeah. So that's the gist of the edge. I don't really know these things. I sort of figure it out as going along, but it's one hell of a spectacular place to visit and build upon, as you can see. And the building has thus also changed in that some of these, we'll see maybe in the piratey one, the platforms end higher, so they really become flowers. But
We will trade stone for wood. This we may offer.
So this place called the Silence of the Cycles. They have their own bit of lore. It's an observatory to see if someone is coming from the other side of the edge. It never has. And it has a unique building as well that adds population cap, which is called Silence of the Cycles. And I call it my Christmas Orthanc, or Minas Morgul. It's got that sort of, I don't know. It's a little homage to Lord of the Rings, but it's hella cool, and it can be the centerpiece of your Mancer build as well. On top of this, and I'll do that in free build as a bit. I'll go to see if we can. I'll leave you the piratey one. I'll show in free build, because that's we have more stuff to show. Because the Mancer have actually gotten their own architecture update inside this update, and it sort of probably got lost to a lot of people, but those that play with the Mancer will find there's quite a lot new stuff. So the first, and this is free build mode, so we're basically getting instant. So there's new, you can see one pop up. There is a bunch of new, there's 2 new ones in view already. Top tier housing that can pop up. They aren't as high tech, or they're in the Mancer style, but they've gotten. Here's a bunch of them. Spindlier, if that's right. And they've got their pointier. So they've gone a little bit more gothic with spires and stuff. I think that fits the setting. And it just adds a lot more variety to the Mancer settlements. Now, what else is new? And I don't know if it will spawn. I hope it does. Here we go. The second floor towers of any stone tower. And we'll do the piratey in a bit. I can't show you the Leviathan's toothache. That's a shame. Here we go. So these are new. So what happened is previously you had these stone towers. I hope people remember those. They look out of place against the Mancer, because the Mancer are also all metal and sort of futuristic. So I said, okay, if you're close enough in range and Mancer is your dominant fixture, the second tower floors don't get to be this romantic. Let's see if we can build one that's uninfluenced. So here's the old one, and that doesn't look out of place. So you have these new ones, and they look cool, and it makes the Mancer place just feel cooler. So let's see if we can do some more. There is more for the Mancer. So we all know these pie-shaped pieces. I always call them the pie shapes, but they're round battlements or whatever we're gonna call them. They're actually the bulwark, a round protrusion of a fortification. So if I put
Assigned my request.
the monster have their own flourish on. You look at the bottom, you see those metal platings. So this is added to the tier 3, so the iron tier, basically stone tower, round bulwark battlements. It's just for fun. But that combined with the new housing, so that's one. Oh, and even the old housing. So the old top tier. Let's photo mode it. The old top tier housing have gotten little smokestacks and little detail and a few more flourishes. I don't know if there's more examples. They were a bit samey. And the monster is really one of the cooler factions to build, and they got a lovely. Here's another new one. You see that one, the domed. Yeah, how do you call it? The sharp dome. So that's all new. Makes the monster pretty fucking cool. I think are cooler. Just for fun, every faction has these. I forget how the Freehouse one, but so we had a discussion on Discord about the Freehouse one. But you need a lot of influence to get them, so they can't happen. They don't happen rapid happenstance. And also there was some bugs in the Freehouse top tier house, and they were incredibly glowy in bits. They had a corruption of the model. I fixed that as well. So hey. So let's see if it's top tier, top 2. No, that's still not enough influence. And here we go. So this is the free house one. And it's just a little reward for you to stick with one faction and find these new architectural flourishes, and hopefully, as long as the game keeps accelerating and it's doing reasonably well on that. Oh no, not this one. We've seen this. We haven't seen the Imperials one, but fuck it. We'll want to see some bannerless love. So the bannerless have new units in the DLC. And more freebooter units, which is hopefully one day will be their own faction. And the bannerless had the highest selection, but they always get the coolest stuff. I don't know why. Let's see if I can get a top tier 2. Here we go. That's the tier 2 tower for the bannerless. I kid you not. It is stone second floor. It's a little. Someone said it's a Mosor, but in my mind it's a sea snake. But it's your world. It can be whatever you want. Look, the little lamp is stuck to its socket. I don't know. I think that's cool. So they got a loving update as well. So there's tons of other changes. I don't think the game's ever looked this good visually, even this hastily. You can see the factions have become more divergent. It's just yeah. I love fiddling with it, adding new stuff, and I hope you do too. It's weird, unique self bulwark is. I hope you enjoyed the little run through. Let me think. I forgot. There's a few more bits and bobs, but there's balancing changes, visual improvements, architecture, new content. There's settlements. There's war. There is new random encounters that happen here. They're mostly violent or stand and deliver type holdups, and even some enemy units that will spawn near these by themselves without a question mark. Just experimenting with new maze to make the world not necessarily hostile, because you can turn that all stuff, but just feel a bit more wild. So that should expand your playthrough quite a lot. The map just keeps getting bigger. And like I said, Shard has its own new update as well. It's completely overhauled. And maybe one day the North. So thanks. I hope you enjoyed are enjoying the sort of weird show and growth of Bulwark. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe. You're supposed to say that. Mostly just check out the game if you've never heard about it. Check it out. It's really weird. It looks great. It's kind of fun and quirky. And I'll keep expanding on it. So your buck goes to supporting me doing that. And I can one day talk about how that works and why I do these little DLCs. But basically, DLC will sell a fixed amount based on the total number of units. Mostly just new people buy it as part of the bundle, and that funds further development. Because, there's already, multiple years that need to be earned back by this game. And I also need to earn back the money to make another game. Because, that'll need to earn back itself as well. But it's going to take another years before I can make something new. So that's why it's important to support, buy the little DLC for fun. Let me know if that's horrific or unethical. I do respond to all of that. I try to be open-minded, apologize if I don't or make mistakes or are harsh or whatever. Just let me know. I'm a big boy. See you on the edge.